Well, this is important. I'm stunned by this. I'm stunned. I am disappointed. The SCOTUS has declined to take a look at the moronic, insane, psychotic Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling that struck down the constitutionality of the Boise, Idaho law that bans camping and sleeping in public spaces, where they'd get in the way and impact good, hardworking people's quality of life.
So we were banking on the fact that the Supreme Court would not only take this up, but really slap it down and say,
8-1.
You've created a new constitutional right to shelter.
Right.
With this ruling. This is crazy, but the Supreme Court says they're not even going to take it up.
I'll read this to you from SCOTUS blog. Here's everything you need to know. The Boise, Idaho law banned camping and sleeping in public spaces. Group of homeless and formerly homeless Boise residents challenged the law, arguing that it violates the Eighth Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment when it is used as the basis for criminal penalties against homeless people who are sleeping outside because they cannot find space in a shelter. I find myself worrying, what if you didn't impose any sort of fine? The cops just shoved them aside or said, you're leaving now. Showed up with sirens and dogs and whatever and said, let's go, let's go, let's go. No penalties, just eviction.
I think you'd say, I'm not moving. Then you got to arrest them.
Right. Yeah, you're right. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit agreed with the challengers, holding that the city cannot impose criminal penalties on homeless residents, and I quote, for lacking the means to live out the universal and unavoidable consequences of being human.
Oh,
I know.
There are many avoidable consequences of being human. I've avoided being homeless my whole life on purpose, with a lot of decisions, many of which weren't that enjoyable, like working 3 jobs sometimes.
Right.
Now, if you're crazy or whatever, that doesn't apply to you.
Sure.
But for all the other people, you know,
bums,
you got
junkies, and losers.
Right.
Right. Listen to this.
That's not the unavoidable consequence of life.
The city appealed to the Supreme Court, telling the justices that, quote, the consequences of the Ninth Circuit's erroneous decision have already been and will continue to be far-reaching and catastrophic. The creation of a de facto constitutional right, the city argued, to live on sidewalks and in parks will cripple the ability of more than 1,600 municipalities in the Ninth Circuit to maintain the health and safety of their communities. That is undeniably true and well put. The city's appeal was supported by 20 friend of the court briefs from cities and states with large homeless populations. Virtually every single one of them, a very, very blue place, including the city of Los Angeles, for example, complained that the broad rationale of the Ninth Circuit ruling could have an impact well beyond, quote, a homeless person's need to sleep outdoors. But today, the justices denied Boise's appeal, leaving the Ninth Circuit's decision invalidating the law in place. I am so shocked.
Wow, so am I wrong?
God.
There's just nothing you can do about the homeless problem in California then?
No, nor Portlandia, nor Seattle, nor Boise.
Well, I realize all those places, but
or LA.
Half the homeless people in the entire country are in California. You can't say that statistic enough. It's amazing. And there's nothing those cities can do about it.
The creation of a de facto constitutional right to live on sidewalks and in parks will cripple the ability of all these municipalities to maintain the health and safety of their communities.
So my nice local park,
right,
where I don't take my kids because it's
camp.
scary.
It's a junkie camp.
It belongs to them.
Yeah, it belongs to the junkies. So does the running path in Santa Rosa, California. So does downtown Boise. It belongs to the junkies now. And unless the city can somehow create beds for the 1,750 junkies. There, finally, we got that 1,750th one ordered off of REI. All right. Then 10 more junkies move to town. You can't enforce the law. You're not allowed to. Till you get beds for them. Then 25 of them leave. I guess you can enforce the law briefly, and the street cops are supposed to know all this. All the time. Be constantly updated whether you're in compliance with the insane Ninth Circuit and able to enforce anti-camping and crapping and shooting up in the park laws. Uneffing believable. What has happened to, well, the courts? The courts have happened in this country. Certainly the Ninth Circuit. I am just astounded by this.
Yeah. Ninth Circuit is...
John Roberts, have you lost your effing mind?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Ninth Circuit is legendarily crazy. But you can't blame them if the Supreme Court just said, no, we're not going to take a look at it. That's on the Trump court. What's John Roberts thinking about? I don't remember how they make these decisions. Is it a vote on this? Or does the Chief Justice make the decision on his own?
No, I think it goes to like 1 or 2 or 3 of the justices, then they decide, and if other justices are unhappy, they say something, and by
the way, I've read several books about this and don't remember, which makes you wonder why you read the books in the first place.
What's the point? Should have gone fishing.
I've read several multi-100-page books about the Supreme Court where they did get into the details of that, and I still don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's a real problem. That's a real problem. That's very disappointing.
It is. It really is.
That's one of those that's so disappointing to me, I can't even let it sink in or I'll get depressed.
I know. I got to look more into it, exactly what the process was in rejecting the appeal. I'm blown away. Blown away.
I wonder how quickly that hits the streets.
Here's a stocking full of steaming dog crap. Merry Christmas. Well, it's... you look at the absolute horrible situations in particularly West Coast blue cities, it will only grow.
Well, a policeman, I was meaning, how long will that information hit the streets as in the homeless people? How soon will they be aware of it?
Oh, the advocate types are already spreading the word.
Because a policeman told my wife when she called the police when some homeless were bothering some Boy Scouts, and she was worried about it. Mm-hmm. She called the police, and they couldn't do anything, said they couldn't do anything. She said... And the police said, every homeless person we talk to has a lawyer's name on their lips. I mean, they know the lawyer's name to throw out.
Wow.
So they're up on the law.
Yeah. The homeless industrial complex. The millions and hundreds of millions of dollars will continue to flow through these phony greedhead activists with the support of the useful idiots who actually believe what they're advocating. They're wrong, but I think their consciences are clean. And the courts have done nothing to help us. This is just astounding.
How about this text? I'm not paying another fee to camp in a state or national park. You know, kidding.
Yeah.
I paid $20 to drive through Death Valley over the summer.
Why?
What are you going to do?
Just camp there.
I can live.
Unless Death Valley has a bed for you.
I can live in the park and leave trash behind, needles and poop. Right. On whatever I want.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you can't kick me out, so why am I paying $20 to drive through?
Absolutely go ahead.
Not the sort of guy that could poop out of doors even if I wanted to, I don't think.
You don't think you could?
I don't think I could. I don't think my body would let me.
I absolutely could.
You could?
Oh, yeah. Bet you $20.
I think I'd clamp up.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, are there like a lot of campers around? Am I squatting by the campfire in this scenario, or have I gone off, like into the woods, like a bear? If the L.A. city government is saying, hey, Supreme Court, you got to do something about this. This is crippling. It's not a left or right thing. It's a reality versus fantasy thing.
Somebody texted...
Boy, your example of the national parks is a great one.
Somebody texted, Salem, Oregon banned sidewalk camping just as of midnight last night. Well... somebody's going to challenge that.
Here's a question for you. It's a federal court ruling. Declare yourself a sanctuary city. You're a sanctuary from bums and junkies living on sidewalks and in parks. You're going to ignore federal law. You're not going to cooperate with federal authorities. You are a sanctuary for the taxpaying citizens. I'd like to see that. Let's get some activist towns going on that. Boise, you can lead the way.
Some texter who sounds like they know what they're talking about said you need 4 justices to vote yes to review.
Ah, okay.
So 4 justices didn't want to review the case, but hey, that patent dispute on oil well drilling is worthy of review.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, and it might be. I don't know anything about it, but this is a big thing.
Yeah, there's another loss to liberty too that I could throw it in, but why? Why? So you can be even madder? I don't know. Had to do with property rights, but wow. Okay, well, I guess we move on with our lives. And just show of hands in the audience. I can't see you, but I can feel you. Thinking about moving? Did the thought flow through your mind, flash through your mind as we were having this discussion? You're thinking about moving. The hell with it. If that's the way it's going to be, I'm going somewhere where the junkies aren't.